How you doing, YouTube? Matt, Massive Beer Reviews, back to yet another review. A little bit of semi-local, hopeful, double dry hopped hazy deliciousness in the form of Twin Elephant Brewing. It is Here There Be Monsters. I've not had this before. That's a lie. I actually reviewed this already. I'll get into that towards the end of the review, but I'm doing a second review on it. Let's just jump into it. As far as what it says on here, it says, Here There Be Monsters, American India Pale Ale, double dry hopped, 6.8% alcohol by volume, mindfully brewed. Pale malt-wise, pale, Pilsner, Munich, oats and wheat, hop-wise, Waka 2, Rakau, Vic Secret and Mudika, and English Ale yeast. Label art, it's pretty fantastic. I was actually there for the release. I felt like going to a brewery. I picked this up. It was the day before Labor Day. And I felt like just going somewhere and grabbing some beers. They were having a release, went there, hung out, and I'm hanging out with the couple of the owners, drinking some beers, having a good time. So, but I actually went out of my way not to drink this, as I can go into this review kind of straight or unbiased, like I said. But I ended up having this to do a second review on this anyway. So, like I said, I'll talk about it a little bit. But what I wanted to say, ooh, fruit flies. Hey there, buddy. You know, a little fruit fly hanging out here. It's that season, getting in the fall. Things are starting to cool down. They were actually selling prints of this at the actual release. So, yeah. If it wasn't not rich, I would have actually bought one. So, what do we have here? We got a nice, rich golden hue. It has that kind of deep, rich orange core to it. Has that kind of opaque, almost like lactose-like edges to it, although it is not a lactose-based beer. When I talk about that, it almost like a lot of these kind of softer, water-nerdy beers tend to be a little bit kind of more white on the edges and then kind of richer in the center. And there's soft carbonation on her. Let's see if we can get a nose. Yeah, the hops definitely come off. Really vibrantly green. Very vibrantly green. Like it's a mix of like weedy green and like tomato stocky green. So you get that big green vegetal thing, you get that little bit of smoke and weediness. There's fruit in there somewhere. I want to lean tropical fruit, I want to lean mango, just because that huge green component kind of makes me want to go there because of mango skins, but a really hard time to kind of getting into all the other bits and pieces of the beer, how raw and how green it is. That's a good thing. That's really how I like my beers to skew, so it definitely turns me on. I know some people actually viewed it as kind of a negative. You know, some people like cucumbers pickled, but definitely works for me. There's a soft sweetness to it, nothing too crazy. But yeah, can I dive in? Cheers. Yeah, that green kind of follows through in the taste. It just kind of coats your tongue, and it's like biting. It's that kind of aggressive in a good way. Very dry. The yeast is coming off very dry. It's drying off your tongue. Almost acting like an oak aged kind of beer to me, which is kind of unique of how aggressive that is. So the way the hops play, like green component, really aggressive. The yeast, the dryness, really aggressive. It's definitely aggressive beer. Sure, 6.8%. It's not a super low ABV beer, but it's not a gigantic one. It's playing a much, much bigger role than the ABV would suggest. How filthy that green is on the nose. And how it follows up. Not necessarily as filthy, but as big and robust. And the taste, I kind of dig it. There's a slight kind of Band-Aidy, kind of slight Band-Aidy vibe to it. I think that's just how green, how aggressive that hop is coming across. It's kind of leaning, kind of nudging at me a little bit, but it's definitely not in any form or fashion anything that kind of gets on the way to beer. Just kind of slight drips and drabs and hints of that. I'm trying to dig into the beer and get more from it. And again, that fruit portion of the show, I definitely kind of lean like a generic kind of tropical fruit, but the green is so big, it doesn't let it kind of come through and shine. Not necessarily a bad thing. I'd be curious to see how this beer ages. If that green kind of levels out and lets a little bit of that fruit come through. But it's been a week already. So I think, I don't know if they date their cans. I don't think they do. So I'm guessing, it's a bit over a week in a can. But, I mean, that green must be on purpose, the way how aggressive it is. Now, let's cut to what I was talking about earlier. Second review on this. Why am I reviewing this twice? Two reasons. One reason, I couldn't post a review. I actually went to go post it. I was like, I'll post it. I have this little portable fan, and I was outside doing my review, and I didn't realize that if it actually sat on the outdoor table I have, it vibrates, and that the camera was vibrating like crazy, so it would make people throw up. So I had to do that. 2, almost no carbonation in the first can I had. I was like, okay, that's a bummer, but it really kind of, I mean, this isn't the most carbonated beer in the history of mankind, but it definitely doesn't suffer from the same carbonation issues that the other one did. Usually I just go ahead and post stuff. I'm like, okay, it is what it is, but you know, I had 3 other cans. I had another reason to review it because I had that vibration thing. And honestly, when they do can runs here and they do beers, they usually do quite small stuff. We're talking about, 100 cases around there. So, there can be a little bit of variance in there. So I figured I'd give it another whirl. And this one comes off quite a bit better carbonation-wise than the other one did. So just understand it might be a little bit of variance in cans. And that goes with pretty much any brewery, but especially the smaller ones. I figured I'd give it another whirl. And this one definitely is a little bit better off. But it's nice. I like it. I like how green it leans. That being said, I wish there was a little bit more on the other side to kind of balance it out. It is very kind of one-sided, but that one side is something I appreciate, so it kind of works for me. But I could see it definitely kind of landing different for a couple different people. Let's see. Is it one of the better double dry hopped IPAs I've had as of late? Not out, not in, right on the edge. Like I said, that lack of balance kind of keeps it from being a home run for me. But it kind of gives me a little bit of that just single layer filth that I enjoy. So that in of itself, it's tasty, bevy for sure. Value and availability, I forget what it cost, $18 maybe for a 4-pack, and leave you with if you like what we like this. Pretty much I already said that if you dig on that green component, this is going to do you proper. So if you like that big green component, you like your yeast to come off a little bit more drying, it's definitely going to suit you proper. And the can art's pretty cool too. And the brewery itself, I mean, the stuff I've had from there, I'm a fan of, so I'm kind of excited to see them grow. There you go. Another review in the books. Hopefully you guys enjoyed it. Down there if you want to talk about it. Massive Beers if you want to check me out doing the social media stuff. Beer Massive if you want to check me out doing the whole podcasting thing. And hopefully you guys enjoyed the review. Hopefully enjoying a nice little DDH can right now. And hope to see you next time. Cheers.